Then this person's gonna turn in front of me. I'm gonna show you how to drive on your test so that you can pass first time. Let's get into it. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you got your seatbelt on. And then now we're starting on the main road, so we're gonna be really careful coming out. We've also got the zebra crossing right in front of us as well, so I'm gonna be cautious of that. Do my mirror check over my shoulder. There's lots of people around here, so I'm gonna signal. There is someone coming behind me, so I'm gonna let them go past first. And I'm gonna put my handbrake down, do one last check over my shoulder, make sure there's nothing coming from my blind spot, and then bring my clutch up smoothly. Add some gas at the same time. Second gear. And I know this road is 20 miles per hour. I would have checked beforehand. So whatever road you're starting on, make sure you know the speed limit, because right now there's no signs, but I know it's the 20 here. And we're gonna turn right at the roundabout. So mirror, signal right. And I'm concerned about any cars coming from the right hand side. If there's no one there, I'm gonna make my turn. So right now it looks like there's a car there, but they're turning that way. And I can see that from their signal. So then I can make my turn. Checking the zebra crossing straight away, and it's looking good. And then we've got a traffic light up ahead that's turning red. So this person's taking up a lot of space. So I'm just gonna slow down a bit and go into first gear. Now the mistake some people make here is it's red, but they'll go really fast towards it and then brake really late. But you want to brake nice and early so that everyone around you knows that you're coming to a nice smooth stop. Yeah, so handbrake on, neutral, optional. You don't have to do it that way. You can stay in gear. So I'm showing you another way. So stay in gear, handbrake down even, and then now I'm ready when the lights change. Or if I want to, handbrake on, neutral, and then be ready. It's up to me. And then, but when I'm doing it this way, if I'm doing it this way, I'm gonna check the lights as well and make sure that I'm ready before the light change to green, because I'll show you what happens sometimes when learners do it this way. So they'll wait for the light to change to green or even to amber, then they start getting ready, but then it's taking a bit of time. So they've done it quite quickly because I don't want people to get too annoyed behind me, but learners take a lot longer than that to move off, and you don't want to do it like that. Just being ready before the lights change and then move on afterwards. So here I'm just keeping it in first for now because it's a really tight gap here. This bus is pulling over, it's got its hazard lights on. So I'm just going to take it nice and slow, checking my right side, giving this van driver enough warning that I'm coming over a bit to their side. And then now that it's clearer, add a bit more gas into second. We've got these people by the zebra or the pedestrian crossing, but by now I'm not going to stop because it's too late. And traffic slowly moving ahead. I don't want to be stopping in the box here, and I can feel my car rumbling already because it's in second gear, and you can see the RPMs dip down below 1. So when your RPMs dip below 1, usually the car's kind of struggling to move in that gear. So I want to think about changing into first if I have to go any slower. So I can see up ahead everyone's kind of moving slowly. I'm going to go into first because the car's rumbling a lot here. Then once I go into first, bring my clutch up smoothly, and then now it's a lot smoother. The RPM's around just over 1,000 and it's moving smoothly now. So keeping an eye on this light, make sure that it stays green, and then once I know that it's going to stay green, I'll carry on. So here you can see there's 2 buses on this side, 2 buses on that side. A busy situation, but learners here will go really quickly in there and not realizing they're going to have to potentially slow down soon because there's lots going on. Got a zebra crossing there as well, so there's no need to rush into this space here. Checking behind this van for any people that I might be crossing. So I've got to deal with this first and then deal with the bus. It's looking clear. Check my mirror, and then keeping an eye on the second bus. But by the time I get here, this bus now should wait for me. And then this person's gonna turn in front of me. So you got to be ready for people to do stuff like that. Even though you're not supposed to, you're supposed to react. I know some people said in some comments on a previous video, it's not fair, the other person should have stopped. Sometimes it's not fair. If people do stuff they're not supposed to do, on your test you're supposed to show that you can react in time and save yourself from crashing if someone does something silly. So if you can avoid a crash, you should do so. So here the lights have been green for a while, so I'm just going to check my center mirror. But once I'm here, I've already committed, so I'm going to carry on going. So there, if you're not paying attention or if you're not thinking about the lights, you could end up slamming your brakes when the lights change to amber. But because I already made up my mind about where I'm going to stop or where I'm not going to stop, it's much easier to then keep going because I've already made up my mind. I'm not thinking about it at that point there, I've already thought about it. We've got this person slightly in the road, so I'm just going to slow down a bit. Give them some space. Checking my mirrors as I'm doing that. We've got a zebra crossing ahead of us. So I'm going to slow down. Check both sides. It's looking good. Then I can carry on. And then here I'm turning left, so mirror, mirror, signal. There is a space on this side to go past this car, but he's moving now. So he wasn't moving because there was a box junction there. So whenever people are not moving, always ask yourself why they're not moving. And don't be too quick to just try to go past them. And if you're not sure why they're moving, you can go past them slowly if you've got space, and if you can. So we've got another zebra crossing. Again, checking my mirrors as I approach. Checking both sides of the crossing. I can see people near it. This man's crossing. I'm going to slow down so that he's got enough time to go all the way across. And then once he's gone all the way across, I then carry on. So if I left that in second, because this is a bit uphill as well, the car would have struggled there. So that's why I went into first, so that I can then accelerate smoothly. The zebra crossing can catch people off guard because you've got people coming from the station there straight into the zebra crossing, so you need to be mindful of that. So got this van on the left with its hazard lights on. Some learners don't really see this. They only see the right indicator and they get a bit worried. But if someone's got the hazard warning lights like that, usually means they're not going to go anywhere for a while. So just keep an eye on them, but just don't stop for them, especially buses as well. So buses sometimes will stop with the hazard lights on, meaning they're going to be there for a while. Okay, I'm going to take the next road on the right, so I'm going to check my center mirror, check my right mirror, and then around here I'll signal. And this road is on a bend, so I can't really see what's coming from there until I get to like around here. So I need to be mindful before I turn, because these people, even though it's on a bend, these guys coming from that way still have priority. And then before I turn, I'm going to look out for the pedestrians as well. This guy's already waiting, so I'm just going to make my turn. But if he was crossing, or if he was trying to look like he was going to cross, I would wait and let him cross. Or I would wait where I was before. So we're going to pull over on the left here. So check my center mirror, left mirror, signal. And the mistake some people make here is they'll go in way too fast towards the curb, and then the examiner has to push the steering wheel away, or they have to brake hard for them. Instead of doing it like that, you should be slowing down nice and early and then go into it nice and gradually. I'll show you in the next one. So now it's time for us to move on again. Check my center mirror, right mirror, over my right shoulder. There's no one really around here to see a signal, so I'm not going to put it on. I'm just going to start moving out, bringing my clutch up smoothly. I'm going straight at this crossroads. I'm going to position myself just here. I can't see the left and right properly, so I'm going to slow right down, and then now I can carry on. Checking both sides. And then second gear. Yeah, so we're going to pull over on the right. This time doesn't have to be in a parking space, so center mirror, right mirror, signal right. So notice I'm bringing my speed right down nice and early. I'm turning in gradually. I'm going to first for this so it can be easier to like control. And then, so you see here I'm going to the curb nice and smoothly, not sharply. And then I'll stop somewhere here. Secure the car, and then the examiner might say something like, I would like you to reverse back 2 car lengths, keeping reasonably close to the pavement, meaning you're not trying to be super close to the pavement, but also you don't want to be too far into the road. So once I get my car into reverse, I'll do my checks, and if I'm happy that it's safe, handbrake down, start reversing, and using this mirror to see how far I am from the curb. But the mistake some learners make is they'll just be doing this the whole time. Yeah, you can't do that. You're going to get a serious fault. So you want to be looking here and be checking there, over there. So you got a good picture of what's going on all around you, not just one spot. If you find yourself looking at one spot for more than a few seconds, you're doing it completely wrong. Stop yourself and then remind yourself to start looking around everywhere and keeping it nice and slow. Another mistake you don't want to make is going too fast. So if you do the clutch up like that, this is way too quick, okay? And you can hear the noise as well in the car. That's too fast. To make it go slower, just get the clutch to the biting point, and then once you're moving, bring it down a tiny bit, then up again, and then up. And you notice I'm doing small turns as well, because on this kind of maneuver, you don't need to do big turns. Some people will do a big turn like this to just make a small correction, and then you see the car's already swinging out to the middle of the road, the back of the car's getting too close to the curb. So to correct this kind of thing, if you find yourself going too far one way, just small turns like this will get the car towards the right, and a small turn like this will get the car towards the left. Once you've done your 2 car lengths, this is way more than 2 car lengths by the way, because I was just talking there, giving an example. But once you've done your 2 car lengths, it's now time to secure the car. Then the examiner will tell you, thank you, I'd like you to drive on again when it's safe. So then you get your car into gear. Because we're on this side now, so earlier when I moved off from the left, I checked this mirror, then that mirror, then over my right shoulder, because we were moving over towards the right. But now we're moving over towards the left, I'll check the center mirror, left mirror, and then over my right shoulder. I put a signal on because there's no one around, but because I'm coming from the wrong side of the road, I always want to put a signal on here, because in case there's anyone I haven't seen from that side, they might get a, a little warning that I'm coming out. So now, I'm driving on again. It's still 20 miles an hour around this area. I haven't seen any other signs saying 30, so I'm still thinking this is a whole 20 zone. Plus, you can't do 30 around here anyway because of all these speed bumps. We're going to turn left at the end, so mirror, mirror, signal left. And look how wide this road is. So I should be pointing or aiming towards the left, but you see a lot of learners, they'll do this and position themselves here. This is the wrong thing to do. I should have been way over to the left, because now when I'm turning, somebody else could have come into this space now before I turned, and that could have been an issue. So to avoid that kind of thing, make sure you're positioning yourself all the way to the left when you're approaching the turn. Just like if you're turning right, you want to be on the right hand side. So like here, there's not much room in there, so I'm going to slow down and stop here. Now you can tell by the way this car's positioned, you see the wheel is on my side of the road because they can't fit on their side. So if they can't fit on their side, we both can't fit in the middle here. Okay, so like now I'm gonna check my mirror, signal, and because I'm turning right, I'm thinking about my positioning as well. So I'm gonna aim to be on the corner here, just like this. Checking my gear, make sure I'm in first, and then check both sides, and then coming out, then into second. Then I'm gonna turn left at the end of this road, and I can see the signs telling us that this is now 30 miles per hour. So mirror, signal. Yeah, I know I'm in second, so I'm gonna aim towards the left this time, just like this. Getting into first as I approach. Make sure I don't go too far beyond the giveaway line. I'm just by the giveaway line right now, and I know this because my mirror is just above the giveaway line. So I can see a car indicating to turn, so now I can then make my move. Bearing in mind this is the 30, but I can't do 30 straight away because the cars in front of me are not going that fast. Yeah, so these guys are okay standing there. I'm not going to stop for them. You can't stop for every person that's standing in the road, otherwise you're never going to get anywhere. You need to judge if that person's going to walk in front of you. Are they vulnerable? Are they paying attention? That's when you can decide whether to stop or not. But if you stop for everyone that's in the road, you're never going to get anywhere, and it's going to be kind of dangerous as well because people behind you are not going to expect that. Okay, so this one's going to red. Into first as I'm stopping. This will save you a lot of bother. Like going into first as you're stopping is going to help you to remember to go into first before you actually try to move on again. Because sometimes these lights don't take long to change back to green, and if you try to move off in second, it's not going to work that well. So here I'm just going to give this person time to move out of the way.
So some people will say, oh, why couldn't you just go around them using the bus lane? But this bus lane is still in operation right now. It's, I think it's 7 till 7, and right now it's 4 o'clock, so I can't use that bus lane. We're gonna turn right into this road, so mirror, signal right. Slowing down, going into first before I get to the turn, looking out for any oncoming vehicles like this bike. And then once I turn, I'm gonna look out for this pedestrian zone, so I'm gonna go slowly because there's a lot going on in here. You don't wanna rush and go into a place that's quite busy. I'm gonna keep it nice and slow. Even with the car in front of us, I don't know what he's doing, so I'm just gonna give him lots of space because he could be looking for a parking space, so I don't wanna get too close to him. So you see, just like that, so he's gonna reverse. So if I was too close to him, I would have to brake hard and then reverse back so that he can have space. But whenever you see people slowing down like that or going kind of slow, it's usually because they're looking for a parking space. So just give them lots of room. Once it's out of my way, I can carry on, checking my mirrors. I'm going to be turning left here. Yeah, stretching to see. It's looking good. And then making my turn. Again, another narrow road, so I'm just going to be really careful here. Already thinking about where I'm going to stop if anybody comes through and where they're going to stop if they come through. So I already have a plan in my head, and I'm going to turn right at the end. So mirror, signal. And you notice I'm approaching it really slowly here, because the mistake that lots of learners make is they'll rush here, thinking, or not even thinking about anyone that might be crossing the road here on their bike. So always think, if you can't see something, just imagine someone's going to be there. Okay. So right now I can see a car coming from that side. I can see lots of cars coming from this way. Once I see a big gap on the side, I might go in the middle, then hopefully someone will let me in. But in the meantime, I'm checking both sides for a nice gap. Then I can see the traffic on that side going that way is stationary now. So that might make it more interesting when more cars come from this way. And even as I'm waiting here, I'm looking for any people that might flash me. So that bus is coming, but I'm not gonna get in their way. So it was kind of slow, so I thought I had time, but then I realized I didn't have time. Okay, I can see a nice gap now. Just gonna go forward. And then I'll join this guy. Making sure I use enough gas, because this is a 30-mile-an-hour road, so I don't want to go too slow once I've joined this road. But then now I can see that this traffic is slowing down. I can slow down as well. So you notice I've got a nice gap between me and this car in front. I can see his tyres touching the floor. Therefore I know I'm far enough away from him. Checking both sides for any people that might be going past me. So we're going straight here, and I can see already there's something happening ahead. So once I go through the lights, because that's the main thing I'm dealing with right now, I can see ahead there's something going on. See the lights changing to amber. They don't apply to us now. Some people try to stop here, but those lights don't apply to us anymore because there's no stop line there. If you stop there, you're going to be blocking the whole traffic situation there. So that's why people are going slow here. There's a bit of construction thing going on here. Let's keep it nice and slow through there. And we've got these zigzag lines warning us that we're coming up to a zebra crossing. So I'm going to keep it slow. Once I can see there's no one here, I can then add more gas into second. So bear in mind it's a 30, and some people say, oh, if it's a 30, why not then in third gear? It's not really about the speed limit, it's more about what the speed of the car is at that time. So once the RPMs go above 2000, then I can think about going to the next gear up. Right now, second gear is fine for what I'm trying to do. So we've got a situation where things are getting a bit narrower here. And then here, I'm gonna go straight at these lights. So, in a lot of situations, in a lot of junctions, the left lane's for going straight. But here, if you look on the ground, you can see the left lane's only for turning left. So therefore, I'm gonna use this lane to go straight on. And you notice I didn't rush to come here and then bang on my brake. I came in here nice and smoothly because there's no need to rush. So I know I've got priority here because I'm going straight and they need to cut across my lane to go to where they're going. And some learners get confused there. What you need to do is tell yourself out loud, I have priority, I have priority. And once you start doing that, it makes you more confident to go through. Because I've seen lots of learners get really scared and not go through when they're supposed to because they're thinking the other car's just gonna cut in front of them. So once you start telling yourself that you have priority, it makes it easier to remember that you can actually go through. So I'm in third right now. I'm gonna go into second here because it's getting a bit narrower and also it's hilly as well. So don't ignore the fact that you're coming up to like a hilly section of the road or that it's narrow. And you've got people in the road like this postman. And then here I'm going to turn left. And then here you see the lights don't apply to us here. The lights are not on this side, but there is a give way markings here. So we need to check this side before I go into the road because anyone coming from that side, turning from that side and coming this way would have priority because there's give way lines there.